What is a perfect intermittent fasting protocol? Guess what? It is different for everyone, and it is completely determined by your age, your gender, and even how much weight you have to lose. And getting this wrong can throw your hormones way off balance, causing you to get little to no results. My name is Terrell, and I'm one of the coaches here at Beyond 40. And for the past nearly 20 years, I have helped hundreds of people lose thousands of pounds, get healthy, and transform their lives. And this is probably the most common question that I get asked, and not just from coaching clients, but from friends and family also, and that is, how long should I be fasting? And so today we're going to answer that because I'm going to give you the three main types of fasting, who these are best suited for, so that you can pick the one that is right for you and get the best results possible. And then, if you stick with me until the very end, I have 3 tips that are going to actually supercharge your fasting results. Okay, we're going to start this off with what's called time-restricted feeding. And this is nothing new. In fact, we have just decided to call it intermittent fasting because if you go back to like 1960s, 1970s, what our normal eating patterns for families was like breakfast in the morning, then lunch, and then dinner. There was no snacking in between, and we certainly didn't eat anything after dinner. What this would look like on a normal day is between 6 and 7 in the morning, we would have breakfast, and then around noon, we would have lunch, and then between 6 and 7 at night, we would have dinner again. This happened like every single day. We didn't snack in between our meals, and we certainly didn't eat after dinner. And in fact, when I was a little girl, which was a long time ago because I'm 52 years old, but if I even suggested to my mom that I was hungry after dinner, she would have said, Terrell, you should have finished your dinner. There was no cookies, there was no anything. We just didn't eat after dinner, which inadvertently gave everybody a 12-hour fast, which by the way is the perfect maintenance fast. So once you reach all of your goals, this is where we want to settle into a 12-hour fast with a 12-hour feeding window that is our natural rhythms of life. Okay, so enough about the maintenance protocol for fasting. Let's get on to getting to our goals. I did just want you to know though how easy it is to slip into it because I get asked a lot. Now, do I have to fast for the rest of my life? Well, the answer is yes, but honestly no. It's a natural way to eat and we've done it through the ages. So what I love about time-restricted feeding for reaching your goals is that you can do it every single day. I do it 7 days a week, and this is because it's very easy for me to get all of my nutrients and all of my energy or calories in that feeding window. Because what happens is we start to shrink these windows down or overdo it, and we are either too energy deficient or calorie deficient, or we're too nutrient deficient, and it sends our body into like a famine protective mode. And this goes way back centuries when there was famine often around us. This is not the time for our bodies to reproduce. We don't have enough food for the humans that are in the area. We certainly don't need to be adding more to it. And for women, you need the extra calories, you need the extra nutrients, you need a lot of extra food when you're carrying a child. And so this is the time your body would start to shut things down. And this is the actual reason why too low of a calorie diet or a nutrient deficient diet sends your hormones into crazy states. For women, the estrogen and progesterone, boom, gone, just off the chart, off balance. Men, testosterone, gone. And for both men and women, we have thyroid hormones and cortisol hormones that are just going to tank or get so off balance that it causes us to fast like crazy, doing everything we think is right and seeing 0 to no results, no matter which one. So no matter which one of these protocols you choose, I just want you to know which one works the best for which people so you can make the best decision and you can focus on getting all of your nutrients in your feeding window no matter which one you pick, because that's going to be the key to your success. All right, we're going to start out with the women, but we're also starting out with what we feel here at Beyond 40 are the best practices for intermittent fasting for men and women. So for women, especially if you are over 40 years old, 14 hours max. And if you're in your 30s still, or maybe even in your late 20s, if you want to push it to 16, that is going to be okay. But I will tell you this, one of the fastest ways to completely put the brakes on fat loss is to go past that 14-hour fast if you are over 40 years old. I have seen it too many times to count. So, but what it looks like would be you would have dinner at say 7 o'clock at night, and then you would break your fast at 9 in the morning. That is so easy. You sleep through most of it. The hardest part to get used to is not snacking in the evenings, because a lot of us have a bad habit of snacking in the evenings. No big deal. Just cut that out. If you do move it up to the 16-hour one because you haven't quite hit that 40 mark, you would just break your fast at 11 o'clock in the morning. And for men, 16-hour fast. That's it. It is beautiful. If you're, again, younger, like in your 30s or even maybe still in your 20s and you want to hit that 18-hour fast, you're going to be fine, but that is going to look for you like same as women, 7 p.m., 11 in the morning for breaking your fast for the 16 hours. But if you're going to take it to the 18, you won't break your fast until 1 in the afternoon. And this gives you 6 to 8 hours of a feeding window for men, which can make it a little bit more difficult for you to get all of those nutrients in. So we do have over 40 hormone reset diet that I'm going to link in the description, because this is our best nutrition plan. It does include intermittent fasting, and it does kind of walk you through it and give you a lot more information. But also, one thing that I really recommend is when you take on a new fasting protocol is to count your calories, count your macros in the very beginning, because ideally we don't want you to do that all the time. It's tedious and no one likes to do it. But in the beginning, you really need to know if the protocol that you picked is giving your body enough nutrients and giving your body enough energy. And if it's not, I really want you to watch for symptoms of thinning hair, not a lot of energy, stomach pain, diarrhea, women, your menstrual cycle kind of getting all off balance. And the worst one for me, I think, is trouble sleeping, because that can lead to a whole other mess of hormonal problems. So if any of these pop up, just pull back on your fasting window, or just take a couple of weeks off of fasting altogether. Let your body calm down and relax. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is going to help you in the long run. Even if you think it's delaying your progress, it's not. It's actually helping you get to your goals faster, because at that pace, you wouldn't have reached them anyway. Now, even these shorter, like fasting windows, they still give you all of the great benefits of the longer window. So you're going to get the low insulin levels, you're going to get the enhanced healing, you're going to get the increase in your growth hormone, and you are going to teach your body how to use the stored fat for fuel. Okay, so this next type of fasting is kind of what I lovingly refer to as a pseudo extended fast, because extended fasts are 24 hours or longer, or over 24 hours, and these don't really reach the 24-hour mark, but they do have amazing benefits that mimic those extended fasts. And so the two most popular kinds of like pseudo extended fasts are the 1 meal a day and the 5-2. So first, the 1 meal a day. This is exactly what it sounds like, and it is also referred to as OMAD. You'll hear people talk about it, where you have like a 22 to 24 hour fasting window and only a 1 to 2 hour feeding window, which is a very short feeding window. So it can be difficult to get all of your nutrients in it, but if you think about when the best time to use this type of protocol is like coming off of like a cheat day, or like a Sunday where you maybe had a celebration, or like say the Super Bowl is coming up. Anyway, and I use it for this exact reason. Like, you have already taken in more calories, kind of a little bit of garbage food the day before, and you know that you weren't, on plan. Anyway, and you took in more calories, probably more fat, probably a lot of things that you didn't want to take in, or you didn't really want to have to pay for the next week. And you cannot exercise your way out of that, but you can throw in like a 1 meal a day and have your body go through that extra energy that you stored. And your liver is your first storage space. And when you do a 24-hour fast, or like any extended fast, your liver is the first place that gets depleted of that energy. So it is a really good time to hit that extra energy and extra everything that you brought in before it spills over into our permanent storage spots. And the other one is that 5-2. I love this and I don't love this. So I love this because it does give you a lot of benefits of those extended fasts, because 5 days of the week you're going to kind of eat normally, and 2 days of the week you're going to have 500 calories or less. I do not like anybody ever eating 500 calories a day, but I do like that while eating that 500 calories, you are going to get some nutrients, which can help with the nutrient deficiency. But what this is best used for is, especially if you're just beginning to use intermittent fasting to kind of reach your goals. And especially if you have 20 or more pounds to go, this is great for the first 2 to 4 weeks because you are really gonna shed some pounds with this. But then after that 2 to 4 weeks that you use it to really kind of get that jump start in there, I want you to go back to one of the traditional, whichever one fits your kind of position in life where you are right now, of that time restricted feeding, because this is going to jumpstart you. But that time restricted feeding is what's going to help you be able to reach your goals without all those hormonal imbalances that eating a 500 calorie a day diet can actually do. Okay, so the last group is that true extended fast group. And these are not to be done on a regular basis. These are like a few times a year. There is one, the 36-hour fast, that I use more than any of the other ones. And that's because it actually serves a really good purpose. So when I use the 36-hour fast, is like if I've been on vacation for a week or so, and I come back and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I need to get back on track, or just plain gone off the rails and not paying any attention for a week or two. It totally happens. It happens to everybody. And I also recommend this to my coaching clients in the same position because it serves a very good purpose. That 36-hour fast is going to, number one, get you over that any kind of sugar or carb addiction you've acquired over the past few weeks or on vacation. It is going to get your body back into the fat burning environment that you want it in. It's going to get rid of all the recently kind of stored extra energy. And what it looks like is this. You will begin your fast in the evening whenever your last meal is on the day that you finally said, listen, we're done tonight. We're done. Anyway, so let's say it's 9 o'clock at night. So you begin your fast at 9 o'clock at night. And let's say it's a Sunday, because that is typical. So Sunday night at 9, then you're gonna go all Monday without any food. You're gonna have water, you're gonna have tea, you can have black coffee. I love to use club soda or bubbly water, because especially if I've been not really paying attention for a couple of weeks, or I've been on vacation, my body's kind of craving the carbs and the cheaty kind of foods that I've been eating. And so that bubbly water helps curb the cravings and help satisfy me so that I can make it all day long. And then the next morning, if you began at 9 on Sunday night, then you would actually break your fast at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. This is a long fast. You've gone an entire day without food, so your body has had to use all of the stored energy just to keep you going all day. Once you pass a few hours, your hunger is going to kind of go away. And when you wake up the morning, you think you're going to be starving going into it, but you're not. You're going to actually feel great. So please resist the kind of wanting to continue that fast longer. Break the fast of the 36 hours like planned, and then slide right back in to that time release feeding that you know is going to get you to your goals, and you know it's going to do it in a very healthy way. Now there's also a 48-hour fast, there's 72-hour fast, there's a 7-day water fast. None of these are bad, but they all have their place and should only be done a couple times a year, because once we kind of get our hormones out of balance and kind of off whack from fasting or too much calorie restriction, it can be a hard road to get them back on track in order for us to continue towards our goals. Okay, so as promised, here are the 3 fasting hacks that are going to help you maximize your fasting benefits without having to extend your fast into those questionable areas. And number 1, no snacking. If you have time for 2 or 3 meals during your eating window, that's it. Do not snack in between. Do not use your feeding window as a grazing window, because what that's going to do is raise your insulin levels for the entire time that you are in your feeding window. And we really don't want that. What we want is them to be highs and lows. So eat your meal and then let your body get rid of your entire meal, which takes about 2 to 2.5 hours to get through the energy that we kind of get from the food in one meal. 2 to 2.5 hours, and then let your insulin levels start to dip, because it is at that point that your body has to kind of replenish your blood sugar so that you can stay energized for whatever it is that you're doing. And so it's going to have to use your stored energy. When you eat a meal, the first place your body stores any kind of extra energy from that meal is in your liver. And during that dip, in between meals, your liver is right where it takes it from. So it's going to help you to not store any extra energy from the meals that you're consuming during your eating window, which is enormous. This makes a very big difference. So cut out the snacks, just make sure you're getting everything you need in each of your meals. Now this one, the next one, number 2, is super fun and it's very easy, and I have seen insane results with this being the only change that's made, and that is eat your biggest meal in the earlier part of the day instead of at the end of the day. At the beginning of the day is when we have the most insulin sensitivity. So our bodies are primed for being able to metabolize all the food that we eat way better in the morning than in the evening. So for me, my biggest meal is normally lunch, but you could have your biggest meal be when you break your fast, have a little bit less at lunch, and then your lightest meal be in the dinner. I would love for you to try this because the difference that this makes can be absolutely insane, and you will actually love watching it. But the third one is exercising in a fasted state. This is because your growth hormone in the fasted state is already so elevated. So when you exercise with that elevated growth hormone, this primes you for being able to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, which can be difficult, but this is actually the gateway to that. So give it a shot. Now, if you are trying to get like enormous and you're cutting to keep like this huge bulk, this is not the time that we exercise in a fasted state. But if you're trying to just really show off some pretty muscle, get the fat off top of it, this is exactly what you want to do, and it will really get you so far. But before I end this video, I do need to say that if you try these, let me know, because I'm dying to know how much you love them, because I get really good feedback from all of these little hacks. Anyway, there are groups of people that should not fast. So if you've ever had an eating disorder, or if you're pregnant or nursing as a woman, you should not be fasting. Also, if when you fast, even in short amounts of time, it makes you not feel well, just don't do it. There are lots of ways for you to reach your fat loss goals that you do not need to use intermittent fasting. So anyway, our over 40 hormone reset diet is going to be linked in the description. And over here, I have a video for you about the biggest mistakes people make while they're fasting, sometimes even causing weight gain. So we touched on a little bit of them today. This is a much deeper dive into that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.